Hey, welcome back to the Breaking Bad Insider Podcast. My name is Kelly Dixon, and we are, deep into, well, not deep, but we're sort of into season 4 now. We're working on episode 403, and I'm here with my executive producer, Vince Gilligan. Here with the writer of this episode, Sam Catlin.
Hello.
Who believes in Anglophile? Hello there.
Right.
Yes, all right.
I'm here with our star of our show, Brian Cranston.
Thank you. Hello. How are you? Let's get going.
Our music supervisor, Tom Skolovich.
Hello.
And last but certainly not least, the editor of this episode, Skip McDonald.
Hi, everybody.
I mean, why did you guys decide to bring back Klepto Marie?
I don't know.
Because she was seeing Dave before, right? She was seeing Dave
The therapist?
to solve this problem.
We never actually met Dave.
We never met Dave.
Yeah.
I think we all have a clear picture.
Yeah, we
At least
do.
I do. A bald man with a ponytail.
But I have.
You could rock that look.
Yeah.
Actually, if you just grew
Just
back
get the
here.
extension.
A lot of manly turquoise jewelry.
Yeah. I love that. I want to play that character someday.
So what was?
I want to play Dave. I'll do a little disguise. But,
So what was the deal with bringing back Klepto Marie, and how did you guys decide that you were going to do it? And who thought of the real estate thing? That's perfect, actually.
I don't know. I feel like the real estate, this episode, in terms of her, what goes on with her in this episode, I feel like that was one of the things that we kind of came up with early on, that we wanted her to do something to act out in some way. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, I guess this was just a good place for it. And we haven't had, it's been hard because Marie had to be so reactive last year because her husband got shot. And so we wanted to bring back the kleptomania, but we wanted to hopefully kind of add a new color to it a little bit.
That actress did a good job who played the real estate lady.
Oh, she was good. Yeah,
she did a really good job.
She has that one
kinda
face
scary.
where she's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, it was so funny. I still think that fight between her and Marie was just, and then Hank, boy, and I had just seen this episode, so I've only seen it one time, but the way that there's that one shot of, and it's just one close up of Hank where he just gets so mad and he's like, how could you do this to me again? How much coverage was actually in there, Skip? Or
There was quite a bit of coverage there, but David decided to try to do it in one shot, and I think we ended up with 2 pieces.
Well, should we talk some music? We got
yeah,
Mr. Golubic
I was just actually getting there because so we basically have seen Jesse. Now, I mean, after what happened in episode 1, Jesse has kind of like decided. I mean, not even decided. He's kind of taken sort of a nosedive into,
Times are tough for Jesse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to phrase it. He's really kind of shutting down. And he always wants people around. He even invited Walt to go-karting for
Why didn't you go go-karting with him,
Why
man?
on earth would Walt
Can't you
ever
see the
go
brothers in need there?
go-karting?
well, it's funny. It's that scene came in, and we talked about it, and everything in these scripts are so well planned out that it was nice that Walt was on a different track than, of course, Jesse. Jesse, having gone through this horrific experience of actually point blank killing a person, and going through his private hell and dealing with that. And Walt, in the meantime, has got his eye on the new eye in the sky, the cameras. And so when Jesse says, hey, you want to do something? And of course, I wanted to go, yeah, what do you what do you have in mind? What do you have doing? He goes, go-karting. And it's like, what? Go-kart.
I guess then to go on that, I just meant to get on that because basically he comes home and this party that has descended into something that you really just don't want to be around for at all. I mean, it started off like kind of nice, and then everybody just stayed. And now even Skinny Pete and Badger aren't there anymore.
More cucumber sandwiches, Badger.
now even his friends aren't there anymore.
Crust cut off.
Sure.
But I just get the
Come on, everyone, we're going to go lawn bowling.
But I just get the impression that he just doesn't even want to be alone. He's gotten to that point
Oh yeah,
where he doesn't.
I think you're right.
He doesn't want want to be alone.
And let's talk about the music in that scene.
Yeah. So, in episode 2 was the first time we saw the part, and it was one kind of music. Now it's a whole different game we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the role of music changed a little bit in the episode, because originally when we were doing this, we were kind of navigating the party. And I think in the beginning it was really just the knuckleheads hanging out, and it was kind of Jesse slipping back to an old version of himself with the money track. And, we kind of left away the nuances that he got, with having a girlfriend and listening to other music. It was kind of, he was slipping back to an old version of himself. Then we got into the party sequence, which was kind of a fun party. We wanted to be dumb, but really fun. And then it just kind of kept on going, and it got to the point when the fun began to kind of get eroded a little bit. And we started mixing hip-hop and some dubstep, which was sort of a newer kind of a sound. It's a little darker, a little bit less sort of elated and fun. And for this episode, originally there was sort of a sort of a punk rock tune that was in there. And I think the scene was really all about sort of how decrepit the party had become. And we kind of changed that up a little bit, I think, in post. When we began to look at the scene, we realized that we already know that it's sort of a decrepit, horrible scene, and trying to overplay that felt like it was kind of repeating a beat that we'd already kind of established. So we kind of got deeper into Jesse's headspace, and I think we found a song that we kind of carried through that made what wasn't a montage originally into sort of a montage, where we start with the discovery of the spoons with the real estate agent, and we found this really. We actually had 4 songs that we were doing with this.
You picked 4 really good ones, and they were all of them really strong. But and we kind of,
one of them was yours, actually, the elbow track.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But that was a song I would have never heard of if you hadn't given it to me 6 months before. So that one was ultimately yours. I just thought of using it there. But we kind of put it up to a vote around here at the office. Everybody kind of got to listen to it and cast a vote. So.
Yeah, I mean, part of the fun of doing the show is I don't think any of us knew that we were going to do a montage when we did the spotting session. And I forgot whose idea it was. It's the same thing with the writer's room. Somebody just said it, and we thought, actually, this could work.
It's kind of it's a quasi-montage. It's kind of a sequence stitched together by this. And what's the name of that band? What's the name of that song?
Fever Ray. Fever Ray is a Swedish artist. It's a solo project for Karen Dreyer. She was in a band called The Knife. And she had this really kind of stunning electronic record. It was very spare, very powerful, very minimal. And there was this one track called If I Had a Heart from her debut. And it just has this muted, loud sort of feel. It's sort of, I think we're tapping into Jesse's lostness and the idea that he's been cocooned, and that there's the full heavy darkness that exists runs all the way through the montage. So what could have been an exhilarating scene with him going around the track now has sort of a darkness. I think we introduced it with the realtor seeing the spoons, and then we kind of climbed in. And so it's almost like a little bit odd.
Is there some spoon?
I so wish there was. On the remix version, we'll get the Jews harp in there. It'll be great.
One of my favorite things that you guys are starting to do this season, and I've been excited ever since I found out, is now Hank is on the case.
Yeah. And let's talk about who gets him on the case, too.
It's really, really, really fun.
It's so cool seeing Detective Tim back. Detective Tim Robertson. The first time we met him was back in George Masters' episode where Detective Tim gets called in to help look for Walt, who has disappeared. And so it was fun bringing him back. I just liked him, right? We wanted to it was a good excuse to bring him back.
He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that seems like just a real cop. I mean, you see so many cops on TV, and there was something about the way he played that scene in 202 where he just had that kind of
calm warmth,
weariness to him, but also just he seemed like a real pro. We like hiring people who seem like they actually do the job that they're supposed to do, as opposed to, that sense of like, this is just another day. This is just it's not the most interesting day in this cop's life. It's not the most interesting day in this doctor's life. And a lot of people, when they come in to play a cop or a doctor or something, they try to make it something, some spice or some hook to it. But he just plays it totally straight and just seems like a cop.
I guess we should wrap this up, gentlemen.
This is a good one.
Appreciate everybody.
I thought this one was
going
to suck, and it turned out okay.
I didn't even have to take my shirt off.
Yeah.
But do it anyway.
Sam didn't get around to taking his shirt off.
Yeah, like that, like a girl would.
Help me! Help me! Look what they made me do!
Oh God. Okay.
Keep that. Keep it.
That's rich. That's gold, my friend.
that out.
Thank you, Thomas, Skip, Vince, Brian, and Sam for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you,
Thank you, Kelly.
All right, let's go, everybody. Everybody, go Break Bad.